I'm Rod Emory. This is Emory Motorsports. We're here having our first open house.
Somewhere in an undisclosed location in Hollywood, California is Emory Motorsports, home of the Outlaw 356. This is Emory Motorsports' 400 horsepower 356 Outlaw engine. In one moment, Rob will be discussing the internals and the evolution of this engine.
So it's all 3.6 components, and with billet can housings, and so this is a 2.4. So our carbureted 2.4 engine is like 205 horsepower, and our fuel injected version we bump up to 2.6, and it's about 260. And then this is the first one of the twin turbo version. And so we're still testing around that oil pressure on it. Here's my boost valve right here. Right now, with like 1 bar of boost, it's right at 400 horsepower. So driving it like 2 weeks ago, right? Yeah. So I'm just driving it the way that it is. But yeah, so it's all 964 suspension. So if you look at those two cars over there, you can see kind of the way
that was kind of offshoot of that first
of
car
the all-wheel drive car.
The car you're right. Yeah.
So that was the first one I did, and then we did another one, and then we did this one, which is I still used, even though it's not all-wheel drive, we still used the same like center section of a tunnel and suspension pickup points from a 964, so you can have all the coilover stuff just like those two.
So the body work goes on top of this.
Yeah, it looks like this.
Carbon fiber, aluminum.
It's all aluminum, so it can be
Zeus
fastens on. Yeah. So that's what it looks like when it's finished. But it's and it has like lift in the suspension, so it actually sits lower than that, but we can raise and lower it 2 inches when we're going in and out of the driveways, and just a bunch of weird wacky stuff. Yeah,
it's beyond cool.
Yeah, thank you. At the factory in 1962, so when they developed the 4-cylinder or the 6-cylinder, then Paul Hensler was tasked with the kind of the project of seeing if they could turn that into a 4-cylinder for like the 912. But they scrapped the idea and put the 356 engine in the 912, and it never went anywhere. So then Chuck Beck says, well, I'm building these spiders, and he built the 904 and some of the other stuff. So he's like, well, let me try it. So he cut an early turbo case into 3 pieces, welded it back together, and then had a special crank built, and that's this engine.
Wow.
And then Dean did the same thing with like a 3.2, I think it was a 3.2 turbo engine, and then cut and welded the crank, and that's what's in my silver car.
Right.
So I put that engine in my car it was in our race car Desperado for years, and then once I knew the thing was bulletproof, I put it in my special, and it's been in that ever since. And so I was, and then about 7 years ago, I wanted to just kind of further evolve that whole concept, and I knew I was going to be building twin turbo versions, so I built my own case. So this is a new cast case.
So it's not even, so it's really
Yeah. So this is a new cast case, and it uses all 3.6 liter components. So it's factory 3.6 liter piston, cylinders, heads, valve train, all that, and then we have a new crank, billet cam housings, obviously shorter cams, shorter crank, and Jeff Gameroff at Roth Sport up in Portland. Jeff's been building engines with me and for me since the 90s. All of our 356 race engines, 908 engines. So Jeff does all of the assembly and dyno work, and then delivers them to me this way for all the cars. And so most of them this is our carbureted engine, and then we also have a fuel injected version that runs Motec fuel management, and then we have the twin turbo that's in that car over there. So this is like 205 horsepower. The fuel injected is right at 260, and then the turbo one's right at 400.